Mom, it's snack time. Noah's voice echoes from the kitchen. I look up from my desk in my home office and check the clock. 3 p.m. It's time for my son's after-school snack. I'd been immersed in a client's logo design since morning, but this is one time of day I never miss. Coming, honey. Although I was in the middle of my graphic design work, prioritizing time with my son is my rule. I save my computer screen and head to the kitchen. I chose to be a freelancer specifically so I could flexibly manage Noah's school pickups and attend school events. Noah is already seated at the table with his EpiPen in its special pouch beside him. My son, who has a severe peanut allergy, understands the importance of managing his health condition at just 7 years old. At school, his teacher, Mrs. Johnson, has carefully explained Noah's allergy to his classmates. What would you like for your snack today? How about some of Mom's allergy-free cookies and a smoothie? Yes. Oh, and I'd like blueberry in my smoothie today. We had art class at school, and everyone drew pictures. Seeing Noah smile warms my heart. His bright personality has a special way of making everyone around him happy. He's remarkably thoughtful for a second grader, always making handmade cards for his classmates' birthdays. On weekends, you can see my husband David playing catch with our son. Their laughter fills our quiet residential street in Eden Prairie. Moving here 5 years ago was the right choice. It's safe, with highly rated school districts. David even coaches the local Little League team and cherishes his time with our son. At least, that's how it appears. My husband, a middle manager at a marketing company, is known for being hardworking and family-oriented. Our neighbor Christine often says, "I wish I had a husband like David." True, he works late on weekdays, but he always makes time for family on weekends. Our family attends Grace Lutheran Church every Sunday. I have endless conversations with friends I've met through church activities at Caribou Coffee once a week. The Thursday Moms Bible Study Group, in particular, has become my emotional support system. It's precious time spent sharing the joys and challenges of parenting with other mothers who have children of similar ages. 8 years ago, when I met David at a friend's house party, I was drawn to his sincere character. I was working at an advertising agency then, completely focused on my career. Meeting David became a turning point in my life. After dating for a year, we got married and were soon blessed with Noah. Since discovering our son's allergies, we've tackled everything as a team. Every weekend, we shop for allergy-free ingredients at Whole Foods Market and get our daily necessities at Target. Sometimes, shopping at the Mall of America has become part of our life in this area. In summer, the neighborhood children play at the community pool, and in winter, we enjoy ice skating. The seasonal events are part of this town's charm. I participate in monthly craft fairs at the local community center. My designed greeting cards have become somewhat popular items, and I put all the proceeds toward our son's education fund. Mom, tomorrow is show and tell at school. Noah excitedly announces as he finishes his snack. Every day at Eden Prairie Elementary School brings new discoveries for him. What are you going to bring? The baseball glove I used to play catch with Dad. I'm going to say I want to be a baseball player. And I'll show everyone how Dad taught me to throw. Just then, the doorbell rang. Probably an Amazon delivery. I stood up and gazed at the trees in the front yard beginning to change color through the window. Smiling at this peaceful moment of daily life, I headed toward the door. While checking the delivery person on the Ring security camera, I was thinking about what to make for the church potluck party this weekend. Noah would surely help me cook. However, no one could have predicted that this peaceful life was about to be severely shaken. The next afternoon, while I was absorbed in designing a corporate logo for a client, I heard footsteps at the front door earlier than usual. "I'm home." It was Noah's voice. It sounded higher pitched than usual. Perhaps something exciting had happened? I saved my computer screen and stood up. "Welcome home, Noah. You're early today." When I walked to the living room, my son was beaming, holding up both hands. In them was an unfamiliar pink paper bag. My heart skipped a beat. "Mom, look. A nice person outside school gave me candy." In contrast to my son's innocent smile, I felt my spine freeze. Candy from a stranger. We talked about this so many times. She was super nice, and she said it was a present for Noah. My son continued excitedly. His voice seemed to fade into the distance. I took a deep breath, trying to maintain my composure. "Noah, can you show Mom that bag?" I tried to keep my voice as normal as possible. My son handed over the paper bag without any suspicion. Fighting to control my trembling hands, I looked inside. It was filled with colorful packages. At first glance, they looked like ordinary store-bought snacks. But my eyes immediately searched for the ingredient labels. Chocolate bars, cookies, granola bars. I checked the labels on each product one by one. There, my worst fears were confirmed. Contains peanuts. May contain traces of peanuts. Processed in a facility that also processes peanuts. Peanuts. The ingredient that threatens my son's life was in every product. This couldn't be a coincidence. Someone had intentionally. Cold sweat ran down my back. However, I maintained my expression to avoid frightening my son. "Noah, can you tell me more about this nice lady? Mom's really curious." My son sat down and happily started talking. She was wearing a pink dress. Her hair was brown and came down to her shoulders. She had a really kind smile and said she was a school volunteer. I carefully recorded each piece of information in my mind. "What exactly did she say to you?" "She said, 'Noah, you're a second grader at Eden Prairie Elementary, right?' I thought she must really be from school since she knew my name." My heart was racing. This woman knew my son's name. This was clearly a planned action. "And what did she say when she gave you the snacks?" "She said, 'Good children deserve rewards.' Oh, and she also said, 'When you eat these at home, make sure to show them to your mom.'" Those words sent chills through my entire body. The perpetrator was trying to send me a message too. I stood up and grabbed my smartphone. I needed to call the police first. Then the school. A list of necessary actions flooded my mind. Noah, can you start your homework while Mom makes some phone calls? Okay. I have math and science today. As my son innocently replied and started taking out his textbooks, I dialed 911 with trembling fingers. 911, what's your emergency? Yes, this is Caroline Miller from Eden Prairie. My elementary school son received snacks containing allergens from a stranger outside school today. My son has a severe peanut allergy. Guided by the operator's calm voice, I explained the situation while keeping an eye on my son, who had started his homework in the kitchen. We'll dispatch officers immediately. Meanwhile, please don't touch the bag with the snacks. We'll need to treat it as evidence. After hanging up, I immediately called the school's emergency contact. The principal should still be in the office after school hours. Hello, Eden Prairie Elementary School. This is Caroline Miller, Noah Miller's mother in 2nd grade. While talking, various possibilities raced through my mind. Why did the perpetrator know my son's name? Why did they know about his allergy? And most importantly, why target my son? 10 minutes later, police sirens approached. At the same time, our neighbor Linda peered worriedly from her backyard. The sirens piercing the suburban afternoon symbolized the abnormality of the situation. Mom, are the police here? Hearing my son's anxious voice, I gave him a gentle smile. Everything's okay. Mom will protect you. Those words carried my desperate determination. I would definitely uncover the truth behind this incident. 30 minutes had passed since the police car arrived. In the living room, Officer Sarah Johnson was gently questioning Noah. Meanwhile, Detective Mike Thompson was reviewing the security camera footage with me. Mrs. Miller, these Ring videos are stored in the cloud, correct? Yes. We installed it last summer because of increasing reports of suspicious persons in the neighborhood. Detective Thompson nodded while scrolling through his smartphone. Suddenly, his finger stopped. Here it is. 2:47 p.m. A woman walking from the direction of the school. The screen showed indeed a woman in a pink dress. Brown shoulder-length hair, probably in her late 20s. The security camera had captured her walking down the street. Unnaturally slowly. As if lying in wait for someone. Let's check other footage. Detective Thompson quickly operated his phone, accessing databases. Street surveillance cameras in the Eden Prairie area, posts shared on the Nextdoor app by neighbors, school surveillance cameras. Digital age investigations had surprisingly many information sources. Mrs. Miller, we've received footage from the school's main gate. The footage the detective showed me captured my son leaving school. And about 10 meters behind him walked that woman in the pink dress. I caught my breath. Why would my son? Just then, the doorbell rang. Caroline. Are you okay? My friend Jennifer stood at the door. Behind her were Sarah and Becky, other mom friends. They said they'd heard about the emergency on Nextdoor. The school contacted us. There's going to be an emergency parents meeting, Sarah announced breathlessly. Tomorrow morning at 8. The principal is also holding an all-school assembly. Almost simultaneously, my smartphone vibrated. An emergency email from Eden Prairie Elementary School had arrived. Dear parents, today, an incident occurred where one of our students received dangerous items from a suspicious person during dismissal. Police investigation is currently underway. Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 15th, we will hold an emergency parents meeting in the gymnasium at 8 a.m. Additionally, we will hold an all-school assembly to provide renewed guidance to students regarding interactions with suspicious persons. While we are strengthening security measures with school resource officers and staff, we ask for parents' cooperation. Eden Prairie Elementary School. Principal Margaret Wilson. Caroline, is there anything we can do? Jennifer asked worriedly. Her words brought warm feelings welling up inside me. I'm glad we moved to this town. The feeling of being surrounded by well-meaning people is my greatest strength right now. Thank you. But we're okay. Noah is calm. From the living room, I could still hear my son talking with the female officer. So, what color were her shoes? Do you remember? White sneakers. Oh, and there was a blue ribbon on the right shoe. Detective Thompson quickly noted my son's testimony. Mrs. Miller, the detective called out to me. We've found crucial footage from the school's surveillance cameras. The detective's tablet displayed footage near the school's back gate. There was a familiar car parked there. This white Lexus RX. My voice trembled. Do you recognize it? Yes. This car is. Just then, my phone rang. It was from David. Hello, David. Something terrible happened. Noah. The police contacted me. I'm coming home now. My husband's voice sounded somehow hollow. Meanwhile, at the Eden Prairie Police Department, analysis of the security camera footage was progressing. Photos provided by passers-by, surveillance cameras from nearby stores, social media posts. This digital information was revealing surprising facts. The white Lexus RX had been appearing around the school almost daily for the past 2 weeks. And that car's license plate. Detective Thompson's phone rang. After ending the call, his expression changed. Mrs. Miller, we've identified the suspect. Amy Brown, 28 years old. She runs a cafe downtown. We identified the vehicle from the surveillance footage and ran the plates. And social media analysis provided decisive evidence. The detective held out his smartphone. It showed Amy Brown's Instagram account. And among her posts was a photo of her in that familiar pink dress. The posting date was 2 days ago. The location, my spine froze. It was in front of the office building where David works. An arrest warrant has been issued for the suspect. SWAT teams are currently heading to her home and business. Those words raised new questions in my mind. Why did she target my son? And why was she taking photos in front of David's office? Detective Thompson carefully chose his words. There's something we need to discuss. Amy Brown and your husband. The sound of the front door opening interrupted us. When I turned around, David was standing there. His expression showed a shadow I had never seen before. The truth was beginning to reveal itself. Noah, could you play in your room upstairs? I gently called out to my son. A heavy atmosphere hung in the living room. Detective Thompson, Officer Sarah, and my husband David. Everyone seemed at a loss for words. Okay, I'll play with my new Lego. After confirming my son had disappeared upstairs, Detective Thompson began speaking. Now, regarding the arrest of suspect Amy Brown. The detective's voice quietly resonated. The suspect was arrested at her home. During the warrant execution, she surrendered without resistance. And then, she began making surprising statements. David's face turned pale. I watched my husband's profile while listening to the detective's words. Amy Brown claims she has been in an intimate relationship with David Miller for the past 6 months. My world felt like it had stopped for a moment. According to her testimony, David had pretended to be single. He removed his wedding ring and told her he'd been too focused on work to date. With trembling hands, I stared at the shelf displaying our wedding photo. My husband, whose sincerity had attracted me to marry him 8 years ago. Was that smile all a lie? She discovered the truth 2 weeks ago, the detective continued. She happened to witness your family shopping at Whole Foods Market. David, is this true? To my finally squeezed out question, my husband nodded slightly while keeping his face turned away. Amy was driven by intense anger and desire for revenge. Particularly, she remembered David talking about your son's allergies. Wait, my voice trembled. You told Amy about our son's allergies. David's silence told everything. We found detailed planning notes on the suspect's phone, Officer Sarah added. School dismissal times, routes, and information about Noah's allergies. In me, anger began to outweigh fear. During questioning, she stated she wanted to destroy his precious family, Detective Thompson continued. However, she also claims she never intended for your son to actually eat the snacks. She says she just wanted to scare you. Outside the window, neighborhood children were playing on their bicycles. The peaceful daily scene felt like a different world. Amy Brown will be charged with serious threats. Additionally, there's a high possibility of aggravating circumstances being applied for intended harm to a minor. Mom! My son's voice echoed from upstairs. I don't understand how to build this Lego. That innocent voice strengthened my resolve. David, I called my husband's name. Please leave. Caroline, get out of this house right now. At my unwavering voice, David silently stood up. We'll sort out your belongings later through lawyers. David heaved a deep sigh. About Noah. I'll talk to him myself. You have no right to. David turned back one last time, then left the house with heavy steps. I turned back to the police officers. Could you tell me about the next steps in the process? For the next hour, I discussed necessary procedures with the police officers. Restraining order applications, selecting a lawyer, and even psychological counseling for my son. Everything felt surreal, like a bad dream. However, thinking of my son playing upstairs, there was no time to stand still. Tomorrow, a new life begins. After the police officers left, I took a deep breath and picked up my smartphone. First, I opened the Bible study group chat. Everyone, I have something important to talk about. Can we meet at Caribou Coffee at our usual time tomorrow? Replies started coming in immediately. Of course. We're here for you, no matter what. We'll do anything for you and Noah. The warm messages brought tears to my eyes. Then, I sent an email to Reverend Mary from Grace Lutheran Church. I wanted to request counseling after Sunday's Mass. I needed guidance to begin a new life journey with my son. Mom, I finished the Lego. At my son's voice, I regained my smile. That's wonderful. Can you show it to me? As I climbed the stairs, I made a vow. I would overcome any difficulty to protect this child and build a happy life. Even if the new path ahead would be challenging. Saturday morning, 1 month later. Mom, make my pancakes heart-shaped today. I nod with a smile at Noah's voice echoing in the kitchen. Making breakfast on holidays has become our precious new routine. Breakfast made with allergy-free pancake mix. Fresh blueberries instead of syrup. On the table sits homemade jam brought by friends from the Bible study group. This past month, the kindness of those supporting us has been beyond measure. Reverend Mary makes time for counseling with Noah and me every week. Mrs. Johnson at school, who learned about the situation at the parents' meeting, simply watches over Noah warmly, without telling his classmates anything. Detective Thompson from Eden Prairie Police regularly checks in on us. Amy Brown's trial begins next month. She has already admitted guilt and offered a settlement, but I refused. This isn't just about personal vengeance. Actions that threaten children's safety should be properly judged. The divorce proceedings are progressing steadily. I only communicate with David through lawyers, working out arrangements for child support and visitation rights. Hey Mom, Noah says while munching on his pancake. I'm excited about tomorrow's safety class at the park. I nod with a smile. I'm now organizing safety education classes for children in cooperation with the community center. I wanted to use my experience to protect other children and their families. Outside the window, maple leaves are beginning to turn red. The seasons change surely, and our lives move forward bit by bit. Mom, Noah suddenly said while clearing the table. I'm not angry at Dad anymore. At those words, I embrace my son. You're such a kind child. Well, my son continues with a serious expression. Because Mom has gotten stronger. And everyone's on our side, right? That's right. We're not alone. Our friends, church community, school, police, and above all, this wise and gentle son. Our new life might not be easy, but we'll surely overcome it. The handmade wreath on our front door sways in the autumn breeze. Attached to this wreath, made with friends from the Bible study group, is a small message card. Love never fails. I was certain that by overcoming this trial, we would be bound together by stronger, deeper bonds. Tomorrow will bring another new morning.